Hey guys, I'll show you what I got going on here. I got my boat frozen in my creek back there. Well, it's on a lip, it's not frozen in the creek, but you know, I can't get it out, so. So I decided to take the time to finally finish getting my trolling stuff together. Uh, I mostly fished out of a kayak, you know, and was started off as a bass angler, and then I moved to this area. So slowly but surely, I got into the bay and started doing brackish water, and I didn't change my tactics that much, to be honest with you, from bass fishing. I was more doing inshore stuff, and about maybe 2 years ago, I traded in my bow rider ski boat for a fishing boat. It's like the small, it's kind of in between a bay boat and a flats boat that you see in Florida, you know, trolling motor. It's like 19.5 foot long. When I got it, I thought, well, I have it. I might as well go after those big rockfish in the bay, you know, the twice a year that they come in or whatever. So I started doing research, and first things that came up were, you know, the big trolling rods and the umbrella rigs and you know, big giant swim baits. And I'm not really attracted to that sort of fishing. I'd rather cast and you know, feel the fish when it bites and that sort of thing. But you know, it just seems silly to have a boat and not at least try to catch one of those, you know, giant trophy rock bass or whatever you guys call them. We call them striper where I come from, rockfish. But anyway, so I started slowly getting the gear together. But in the process of doing that research, I started coming across people like Alan Batista and Sean Kimbrough and you know, a bunch of other guys on YouTube that were actually light tackle fishing and catching some big fish. And the more I researched it, the happier I got, basically, because you know, I would prefer to catch fish, you know, on light tackle and jigging and have the rod in my hand and never ever have to troll. So by the time I figured out that I could do that, and it was pretty recent, you know, I went and listened to a seminar. I think the guy's name's Captain Walleye Pete. He's right up the road from me, and he exclusively does light tackle. And you know, once I heard him talk in the areas, he's near me, so the areas that he fishes are actually near me, and I just was really happy. I don't you know, have to troll now. I can just fish the way I like to fish and make myself happy. But I had already invested in these two rods, and I had, let me see if I can show you. I had these guys right here for other things, and I just bought these big kind of chunky broomstick type rods. But either way, I got the stuff. My boat's frozen in, so I think this spring I'm just gonna go ahead and string it all up. I probably won't buy any more stuff, and once this stuff goes, you know, bust off or whatever happens, I'm not gonna replace it. But I figured, since I'm new to this whole thing, I would make a video of it. I did a lot of research. You can see some of the paperwork that I've gotten from the different seminars that I got. I think this one is Miss Susie Charters, and this one's Backdraft. You know, it just tells you the different lengths and the weights, and you know, how deep it runs and all that sort of stuff. So I kind of formulated my own little plan, which is right here, that I'm gonna try to do on my little boat. But I'm only gonna run 4 rods, and only 2 of them are gonna be, you know, big stuff, because I don't have 4 big rods, and I'm not gonna buy them. So I'm just gonna go over everything I'm gonna use, all the rods I'm gonna use, the different lures that I'm gonna put on different rods, and get your opinion, see what you guys think. You know, give me some feedback. I probably won't change much, but I'll take your feedback into consideration. Not that I'm stubborn, I'm not planning to invest in this type of fishing anymore. But I have the stuff, so I might as well just use it while I have it. And so I will take this phone and record my different rods and let you know what I'm gonna do. Alright, this is my basic plan. I plan to run 4 rods. Rod 1 and 4 are the more traditional, you know, big rods that you troll with. I only own 2, and I had some smaller, you know, rods and reels that I'm gonna troll in the middle. Just so I'm not only trolling 2 rods, so I'm gonna troll some smaller stuff on rods 2 and 3. But I'll talk about 1 and 4 right now. When I first got the boat, I ran out thinking I was gonna be in a hurry, and I went and bought most likely this one. I think it's an Akuma Classic Pro XP. Obviously not top of the line stuff. The rod is a Jarvis Walker. It was already all strung up. It had a 50-pound monofilament on it, and it had this clasp already on it. So I thought I was gonna actually fish when I bought the first one that day, so I bought it that day, and then I didn't end up even using it. We ran into a bunch of breakers, and we, you know, filled the ice box that way. So I didn't even use it, and then it didn't get used, and then the next season came, and I went and bought another one to match it. It was like a newer model, so it was different color. I don't really remember which one was first and which one was second, but either way, we'll talk about rod 1 first. And on rod 1, I plan to put a Doug's tandem rig. I went to I think it's Bunky Charters, and I asked the guy, you know, it's been a year, this has just been sitting around, you know, which tandem rig to use, and this is the one he recommended. It's a Doug's Lures tandem rig. He said John Deere green, you can't lose with that. And I also bought the pre-rig thing, so all I have to basically do is tie it on. It's a total of 8 ounces, and I referenced this chart here that I got from Backdraft about, you know, the different weights and lengths and whatever, and I want to fish it somewhere between 25 and 20, and then 30 if I see fish marking deeper, or, you know, whatever. So right now I think I'm gonna start at 100 feet for rod. This would be rod 1 right here, and it would have that on it, the Doug's lure. Rod 4, which would be this rod, the plan is to put a stretch 25 mans. When I first started doing the research, I just read a lot of people saying, if you don't know how to troll and you don't know how to figure out what depth you're at and all that sort of thing, start off using these plugs, because, you know, they run to the depth that you know, that they're designed to go to, and they're a lot easier. So I planned originally to run all my rods with plugs and not run anything like that, but as I did more seminars and stuff, I said, you know what, I'm gonna try running at least one with this type lure. But rod number 4, I'll put, you know, a stretch. I found these that I might use also at Bass Pro. They're cheaper than the actual mans. I don't know if they're better, but they were made by Offshore Angler, deep diver, and really nice looking, so I might try those too. I have a total, let's see here, 4 plus this one that I've already got on here. That's probably the one I'll start with. I like the spots, and I put a little yellow on the tail just for a little extra, you know, I don't know, flash. I typically change out the hooks on these guys to inline, because, you know, who wants to mess with that? I don't. So that is what I plan to put on rod 4. I'm thinking, you know, maybe 70, 75. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't really know how far to run that guy back. So maybe 75 feet and get it done. And that's what I plan to put on rod 4. Let me move these rods and put the other rods up here and talk about those. Alright. Now we'll talk about rod 2 and 3. The rods are exactly the same. There's some ugly sticks. They're pretty chunky little rods. I believe I have 30-pound braid on them right now. I bought these, quite a while ago when I used to troll these type baits on my kayak. I used to troll around and catch bluefish and rockfish and all that sort of stuff. And I had some old bass rods. These rods are really old. That's like an Abu Garcia, and this one's a Fluger. This one, in its day, it was pretty nice. It's a little old now. I actually have 2 rods that I bought to replace these with. They're in a box somewhere. They're Penn 15 LWs or something. They were like $50 at a local tackle shop, so I picked up 2. But we moved recently, and they're in a box, somewhere. I don't know. But I'll put a picture of them so you'll know what's gonna be on these.
I mean reels, not rods.
And my plan originally was just to run 2 stretches on them, the smaller ones, and just have something there, trolling back there. I think I'm changing my mind. I think I'm gonna run the number 2. We'll call this red guy. We'll call him number 2. I think I'm gonna put one of these stretch guys on him. But I was thinking about number 3. I have this little tiny umbrella deal. So I'm thinking of maybe using some of the old crap in my box that I rarely use. Maybe these 2 on the side of the umbrella or something like that. Or, well, I only got 2, 3, so I would need 4. So maybe it would end up being those, or a combination. Maybe 2 of these and 2 of these, and then maybe one of these spoons in the middle. I've got, the Cripple LY and these Tony ones. And maybe I'll put 2 little spoons and one in the middle, but I was thinking about running one with this little tiny umbrella dealie that I've had laying around. It's a 2-ounce weight. So if I do end up running that, I'm not sure. I guess I would put it on 3. I'm not sure how far back I would have it. If it should go further back or closer in. Or maybe I should put these out a little further in these. And I'll probably run this one since it kind of dives on its own. This stretch guy. I'll probably put him a lot closer. Maybe run this guy out, a little further. I guess I don't want him to get all tangled in. So what do these guys do here? So it's 50, 100, 175, 250. So I guess I just got to spread them out. Alright, I'll figure it out. But if you guys have any recommendations of how I should change these distances around, or if the order, if I shouldn't put it'll be that number 1. Number 2 would be one of these guys. Number 3, potentially a little umbrella rig, or one of those guys. I also found these. Think about, I was in Texas and I found these at Academy, these giant crankbaits. I'm kind of thinking about throwing these when I see breaking fish, and, casting them like you're bass fishing. But I also thought maybe about trolling one of them. But if not, I'll do that. So, curious about opinions, whether I should do one of these and one of those, or 2 of these, or maybe one of those guys, and the distances. But I think I might have to rethink these if I need to put these at different distances. But that is what I'm planning to do. I probably will troll till I break all these and I lose all this until I break this off. And then once that happens, I probably will sell those 2 rods and exclusively just do the, the light tackle stuff with those rods. But yeah, any information you guys can give me would be helpful. And I haven't decided. I guess I'll just follow this. It says 2.7 to 3 knots, so maybe I'll just go 3 and then adjust from there. I plan basically. I'm out of Solomon, so I plan to be in this area, kind of trolling, maybe back and forth here, over and over. Excuse my fingernail, I've been out in the mud today. But yeah, maybe in here somewhere I'll troll. But that is the plan. Oh, there's a better map. Let me know what you think. Thanks.